Patience may be the name of the game for the Red Raiders. And in today's video, we'll discuss JT Toppin, Jaylen Wells, and their recruitments, as well as what Texas Tech could do with the remaining scholarships for the 2024-2025 Texas Tech men's basketball roster. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to join the squad by liking the video, subscribing, and turning on that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube, over 10,000 strong. All you got to do to join the fun, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. All right, let's start with Jaylen Wells, Washington State. I want to preface everything. This could be slow, people. Patience, it's a virtue, and I think we're going to learn that in terms of if you are a Texas Tech fan or someone that, well, like myself, creates content around the Red Raiders, because this could be a slow, methodical process that drags out maybe to this point next week. At the time of this recording, it is early Thursday, May 23rd. You are hearing this the night of May 23rd, but this could be a long, drawn-out process for both of these guys, potentially. Let's start with Jaylen Wells and what we know. He's going through the NBA draft process. He has had multiple workouts with multiple NBA teams. Not a ton of info on his recruitment right now, outside of what we have from his dad. Pretty reliable source. His dad has said if Wells returns to college, he wants him out in the 806, playing with Darion Williams. D5 and Wells, as we've mentioned numerous times here on the channel, are close friends and actually played AAU basketball together. So there's that, right? As of right now, everything I'm hearing is it's a coin flip for Jaylen Wells, if not maybe leaning towards the side of the coin that he will stay in the NBA draft. Now, again, a lot of things can happen over the next week, but he really has mentioned in a couple of interviews he has not given a thought of returning back to college. He's letting his agent handle all that and everything. He is focused on the NBA draft process. And now that can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing. I really think it's probably on the good thing, though. What I will say is this. I think if Wells returns to college basketball, the Red Raiders have a really, really good chance to land him. Again, the D5 connection, the Chance McMillan connection. I've already said it a couple of times here on the channel. I think the Red Raiders would be in a good spot to land him, and that money really wouldn't be an issue here. It's if, hey, does he want to go somewhere else and play in a larger role potentially? We don't know that yet, but with the connections that Texas Tech has, it would not shock me at all if Wells does return to college basketball and ends up transferring from Pullman down to the 806. All right, let's talk about JT Toppin, a name that is getting a ton of attention in the Texas Tech media and content creation space. Obviously from New Mexico, the 2023-2024 Mountain West Freshman of the Year, currently going through the NBA draft process, much like Jaylen Wells, is the aforementioned Jaylen Wells. This is a roller coaster recruitment. I put my crystal ball in about 3 weeks ago. I believe that with the intel that I got and reported on over on the Scarlet and Black Insider, that I thought if JT Toppin returned to college, he would end up being a Red Raider. It seems like it's headed in that direction. As I reported over on the Scarlet and Black just yesterday, I woke up to a text on Wednesday, May 22nd, that said it's done, insinuating that JT Toppin to the Red Raiders, if he decides to go back to college basketball, is the done deal. The rumored NIL number, for those that missed yesterday's live video, is $1.2 million. I was told, however, it will likely be till May 29th in terms of when he decides to leave or stay in the NBA draft process, okay? Why is it May 29th? Well, that's the last day you have to say you're in the draft or return to college if you're JT Toppin, and not just JT Toppin, every NBA draft prospect. So you have that. But as of right now, the expectation is if he does decide to go back to college basketball, JT Toppin, it will be out in Lubbock. Again, this could last until May 29th. This is going to feel like a week that is actually having the feeling of 2 or 3 years if you're a Texas Tech fan. Like it's going to be long and drawn out, and it is going to be one of those things where it feels like every minute is an hour until you hear something in terms of, pen to paper or something else coming out of the woodwork when it comes to JT Toppin in his recruitment. But as it stands right now, the Red Raiders are in prime position. Even Trilly Donovan saying that the Red Raiders are the odds-on favorites to land the commitment of JT Toppin if he does decide to come back to college basketball. All right. I've had a lot of people ask me, RC, what should be the priority for Texas Tech now with a couple more guys in the mix? Obviously, you add a guy like Anderson at the point guard position. You have Fetty, Elijah Hawkins, Kevin Overton from the portal, the latter three there. Texas Tech has 3 scholarships remaining. You get a guy back in D5, Chance McMillan returning, Kerwin Walton, Devin Cambridge back from injury, doing 360 dunks on Instagram, right? Obviously, I think for the Texas Tech aspect of this, right, when you talk about what's going on with these final 3 scholarships, the ideal situation would be to land Toppin and Wells with 2 of them, right? But it is interesting to hear from Grant McCasland in terms of what they will do with the scholarship in terms of going out and maybe pinpointing a certain position or being patient. And remember the first word in this video, I said patience. That's probably what it's going to end up being with this final scholarship if Texas Tech does land Toppin and Wells. You think about it. I think from my perspective, the priority has to be, even if you do land JT Toppin, you need another big or at least a high caliber wing. And that's even if you land Wells as well. That was difficult to say, but you got the point. That's the thing Texas Tech needs most, because you have to think about the gauntlet that is the Big 12. The Big 12, John Rothstein is reporting, will play 20 league games this year. They will play 20 league games. You heard that right. There will be no weeks off. Every team will play 2 games a week for 10 weeks straight leading in to Kansas City. That's nuts. You have to have impactful depth 1 through 13 if you're Texas Tech. And I think that's what the Red Raiders are going to do. They're going to go into the summer with potentially 1 scholarship in this situation if you land Toppin or Wells, or if you just land one of them, with 2, and really be patient and identify certain guys and attributes that would help this rotation and lengthen it. Because again, you are not going to survive if you're Texas Tech with 2 more league games and no bye week if you only play 7 or 8 guys. It's just not going to happen. So they have to go out there and they're going to evaluate the landscape in the summer. Remember last year, Devin Cambridge and Joe Toussaint did not land on the Texas Tech roster until past June. The start of June is when they were added to the roster. I mean, shoot, Joe Toussaint committed to Texas Tech on the 4th of July. You got your starting point guard on the 4th of July, okay? So I think when it comes down to it, the Red Raiders are going to be really patient with the scholarships they have outside of being hyper aggressive towards Jaylen Wells and JT Toppin to try to land those commitments. And if they do, they will have 1 scholarship remaining, and that's where the patient element comes into it. And they're going to make sure that they go get a guy that they evaluate in terms of need on the roster, whether that's from, the length perspective, shooting, a big, whatever it may be, and use that scholarship appropriately and maybe scholarships appropriately to make sure that they are well-equipped depth-wise to compete in a 20-game gauntlet that is going to be the Big 12 in 2024, 2025. And I mean, shoot, Grant McCasland even says they expect to be patient with it. So, I mean, not just me, it's the head man himself who is about to head out and be a part of the USA under-18 team. That's a really big honor for him. So congrats to Coach McCasland on that front. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. One more time, if you want to be a part of the Back to 12 squad, 3 simple steps. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube for daily videos on your Red Raiders each and every day. And they don't take 30 minutes, an hour, or anything like that. No, you get this news in less than 12 minutes. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.